Hello, girls and boys. Welcome to Storytime Fun. We hope you enjoy it. Today's story is out of the Bible Stories for Children book, as retold by Jeffrey Horn and Arthur Kavanagh. And today's story is called The Last Supper. It was only 2 days until the Passover festival. The chief priests and the leaders were more afraid of Jesus than ever, and they met to figure out how they might have him arrested and put to death. "We cannot harm him during the festival," they said, "for the people will riot." Then Judas, who was one of the apostles, went to the priests. "What will you give me if I help you capture Jesus?" he asked. They counted out 30 silver coins and gave them to Judas, and he began planning when to hand Jesus over to them. On the first day of the Passover, it was the custom for the Jews to celebrate with a special supper. "Go into Jerusalem," Jesus told Peter and John. "There you will meet a man carrying a pitcher of water. Tell him the master says we are to keep Passover at your house. Then he will show you a large room. You can prepare it for us." Peter and John found everything as Jesus has said they would, and they prepared the Passover meal. At sundown, Jesus came to the house with the other apostles. He knew this was his last supper with them on earth, and he wanted to tell the apostles many things. Before the meal began, Jesus tied a towel around his waist and filled a basin with water. Kneeling before each of the apostles, he washed their feet. When it was Peter's turn, the apostle refused. "I will not let you wash my feet, Lord," he protested. "If I do not wash you, you are not a follower of mine," replied Jesus. "Then wash my feet and my hands and my face as well, Lord," Peter said. When Jesus had washed the apostles' feet, he sat down at the table. "Do you understand what I did?" he asked. "You call me master, which is right, for that is what I am. But I have acted as a servant to you, and you must act this way with one another. I have set an example for you to follow." The 12 apostles sat down at the table with Jesus. Suddenly he looked up at them, his face filled with pain. "I tell you," he said, "one of you is going to hand me over to my enemies." "Do you mean me, Lord?" they asked, one after another. "It is someone who is dipping his bread into the bowl with me tonight. It is written that this will happen, but it would be better for the man who does it if he had never lived." "Master, can you mean me?" Judas asked. "The words are yours," Jesus replied. Then they ate their supper. Taking some bread, Jesus blessed it and gave it to the apostles. "This is my body," he said. "Eat of it." Next, he took a cup of wine and gave thanks to God for it. He passed it to all the apostles with these words, "Drink from this cup. This is the cup of my blood, which will be shed to forgive the sins of all men." After the supper ended, Jesus gave the apostles his final message. "Tonight, I am going where you cannot follow. I want to leave you with a new commandment. Love one another. If you do this, everyone will know you are my followers. Supper was finished, and they all sang a Passover hymn before going out into the night. Together they went to the Mount of Olives. Tonight, all of you will lose your faith because of what will happen to me, Jesus told the apostles. But after I come back from the dead, I will meet you all again. Everyone else may lose his faith in you, but I never will, promised Peter. Jesus put his hand on Peter's shoulder. This very night, before the cock crows to announce the morning, 3 times you will say, "You do not know me," he said. "No," protested Peter, "even if I have to die with you." And all the apostles agreed with him. Near the Mount of Olives, outside the walls of Jerusalem, was a garden called Gethsemane. Jesus and the apostles went there. "Sit here while I pray," he told them. He took only Peter, James, and John with him. Jesus seemed overcome with sadness. "My heart is ready to break," he said. "Rest here and stay awake with me." Jesus walked a few steps further, then fell face down on the ground in prayer. "Father, if it is possible, do not make me suffer this great and horrible punishment. But I know it must be done as you want, not as I want." Great drops of sweat, like blood, rolled down Jesus' face. So hard did he pray. Near him, Peter, James, and John slept. "Are you asleep?" Jesus asked. "Could you not stay up this 1 hour with me?" Again, Jesus went off to pray, and coming back, found the 3 weary apostles asleep. After he prayed a 3rd time, he came over to Peter, James, and John and woke them up. "Up, up, the hour has come," he said. "I am about to be handed over to my enemies." The 3 apostles struggled to their feet while the other apostles joined them. Storming up the road came a crowd carrying torches and armed with clubs. With them was a group of Roman soldiers. At their head was Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 apostles. "The one I kiss is the man you want," Judas explained to the crowd. "Seize him and take him away." He then went up to where Jesus stood with the apostles. "Master," Judas said, kissing Jesus. "Judas, my friend, do what you must," Jesus said sadly. "But why turn me over to my enemies with a kiss?" The crowd rushed in on Jesus and grabbed him. Then Peter ran forward and pulled out his sword, striking off the ear of the chief priest's servant. "Put away your sword," Jesus ordered as he healed the servant's ear. He turned to the frantic Peter. "If I needed help, I could ask my Father to help me. Would he not send bands of angels to save me?" he asked. "Must I not do what is written?" Jesus drew himself up straight and spoke to the crowd. "I am Jesus of Nazareth," he said proudly. "I am the man you want. But why do you come for me in the dark of the night, as if I were a dangerous thief? Every day I have preached openly in the temple. Why did you not arrest me there?" But the soldiers and the police led Jesus away as the frightened apostles fled into the night. Well, that's it for today. We'll see you next time.